Hello, everyone. Alex Eicher, the TC Title Guy podcast here at Closing Room B Studios. Ha ha ha! Very funny. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about because, uh, Closing Room B Studios, right? You get the idea. Anyways, recently it's Thanksgiving week. Fall colors are done here in northern Michigan. It's really starting to get pretty gloomy outside. This time of year is usually it's not very good weather, and the snow is coming soon, which makes things actually enjoyable throughout the winter months. But to be honest with you, like right now, it's pretty gloomy outside. It's nasty weather. Tonight we're supposed to get a snowstorm. We'll see what we get, but they're saying anywhere between 10 and I've heard 20 inches. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we're having lake effect snow here in northern Michigan, so that means it could be more than that. I mean, in the snow belt areas, which are usually more towards inland Kalkaska areas, can impact a lot more snow than compared to Traverse City, where it could be 2 inches here and 2 feet there, right? Anyway, long story short, I've had an interesting week. I went Monday. I went out hunting with a client. Went hunting last week. Got a couple of deer. Got a deer with a client within two or 3 seconds of each other. We both got it at the same time, which is pretty rare. Got that processed up at my house and gave him to me. He was very happy about that. Shout out to you, Kevin Mathis at Honor Bank. And this week I went fishing yesterday with a couple clients, and it's pretty slow right now to set meetings and stuff like that. I mean, getting on the phone, but a lot of people are taking time off with their families. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. This podcast will probably not be published for a couple of at least next week or the week after. But I got an interesting interview today. Obviously not in a unique location today, Closing Room B Studios, but we're sitting here with Brayton Farr. Brayton Farr wears tons of hats. Brayton Farr is a great connector. He's a heck of a tech guru giz guy. The guy is a very good loan officer. He's a licensed realtor. I don't really know if you're really doing too much with your license at the current time or planning to do anything with it. But anyways, Brayton he's been doing a lot of things and also a current client with Talon, and we've been doing business for over 2 years. A lot of people I obviously interview on the show are new to doing business with us or not. But I got my first deal from this podcast from a new individual I met on Facebook from being on the podcast. Shout out to you, Sonia Baker, over in Interlocking with Key Realty. Anyways, Brayton, tell me what you've been working on recently. We'll dive into all the things Brayton Farr, what you're up to, what you're doing to put money in your pocket and help people out in the real estate industry and in life in general.
Yeah, well, there's a good reason we're in the Studio B here. I've got a closing right after this, so it's perfect timing. So we're like, yeah, we'll come in the Studio B and
that worked
right
out.
Here.
That worked out good. That's why you set it up for 10 o'clock. I was like, shoot, 11 o'clock, you got a closing. So
it's perfect. But I'm a senior loan officer with Citywide Home Mortgage. So I've been doing that for about 6.5 years now. Wow, that went by fast. But I've got a bachelor's in finance. So I bought my first house when I was 21. So I've been in the industry for a while. I also am a life insurance professional with Farmers Insurance. So it's really good for realtors, self-employed individuals who don't maybe have benefits through their office or through work. So I can look at life insurance options to protect them and their family, or if they have a team or a business partner, it's a really good idea for key person insurance on that front. And then I also launched a business about a little over a year and a half ago, Solutions by Farr. So I help entrepreneurs, realtors, self-employed individuals, small businesses with custom emails, custom websites, online organizations. So as far as calendar scheduling, appointment scheduling, it's really easy to make everything talk to itself. So you can manage your email inboxes, you can manage your calendar flow. Like if you've ever had an appointment with me, you usually just get a calendar link, pick a time, and then we meet up for coffee or lunch, and it's super easy and eliminates a lot of that back and forth so we can actually talk about what we want to talk about. So those are what I'm working on right now.
So talk to me about algorithms. And what I mean by that is I sit with my clients and I'm saying, hey, look at this. You've shot a video, let's say, one example of a billion, without you in it, and then I show them with them in it, and it's pretty much the same quality when it comes to editing and everything. But my point is like what I do is I say, hey, look, people want to see your face. They buy you, right? real estate, at the end of the day, I understand a lot of people, um, they're struggling in this industry. Newer agents more than seasoned agents. Okay, and my point is like a lot of people say, hey, look, like I nobody knows I'm a realtor, and I said, why? Why do you think that is? Go to your social media, go to your Facebook, and I say, what's your problem here? And then they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're not posting anything that relates to being a realtor other than just a couple of, you know, uh, tiny little pictures or whatever. You have Canva, whatever.
Yeah.
Get on there and post videos. Said, where are your clients? Yeah, mailers and emails have a time and place, but where are your clients more than anything? They're right here. They're right on your smartphone and your device. Anyways, but as far as Brayton's business goes, get away from me. What are you seeing with your clients when it comes to helping them get exposure for their business that you help out with solutions by Farr and the algorithms that have to back that up?
Yeah, so a lot of individuals, realtors, self-employed people will use an @Gmail address or an @Outlook address. It's not as good for SEO, so it's search engine optimization because it doesn't have your name in it. It's some candid email they maybe started that hopefully is on brand, but not always. So I'll help them get a custom email with a custom domain that's actually their name or their company, and then they can use that, which will feed into the SEO, so they're easier to be found. And then we can build out a custom website, have all their information on it. We can have listings on it, have their phone number. Often I'll find that on their websites, their social media links are outdated or non-existent at all. Like I met with a client yesterday who, looking at their page, they were missing, like they have a YouTube page with a lot of followers. They've got a LinkedIn page with a lot of followers. And the only thing linked on their website was Facebook, and the link didn't work.
So what I say in that process, don't be afraid to get right up in that mic over there, Brayton. Right. But syndication.
Yeah.
Syndication.
Yep.
And that's a big issue. And
Yep.
I think it all starts with a QR code from your business card. And I look at people's business cards and I'm like, hey, where's your QR code? It doesn't have to be very big. Yep. You know what I mean? And that's my point.
Yep. And flow code is a huge.
What do you mean by flow code?
So it's a brand. And if you watch TV or see the ads when they have a QR code, if you look at the bottom of the QR code, it says flow code. A lot of big marketing firms use it, but it's a QR code that you can print and you can change where it goes after you print it. So if I'm doing a class and I want to feature a page on my website, or I want everybody to go and book an appointment, I can change that link on the fly. Or often somebody will print a QR code on a million flyers or business cards and the QR code doesn't work because they mistyped their URL in and something broke. Well, with flow code, you can actually change where that goes after you print, and you can track the analytics. It's amazing. It'll tell me exactly how many people scanned it and where they scanned it.
Wow.
So yesterday at a meeting, I gave out 20 business cards, and I can track exactly how many people scanned it yesterday. So I know if people are actually scanning the QR code. It's pretty amazing.
So here's my point. Yes, you need to go out and network with people, which we'll get into that here in a minute with Brayton. Actually, if you want to jot that down, Brayton, we'll talk about that. But here's the thing. Yeah, you need to go out and network with people. You're an agent, and you say, I've got mailers out there and emails or whatever, and I'm doing some phone call follow up, and then I say, how often you follow up? Only every couple weeks, 3 months. I'm like, what if you're able to do it every day? What if you're able to do it every week, right? My point is like how often you post on socials. If they're on your socials, you get them over there. You syndicate your platforms together to drive them from YouTube to your Facebook or vice versa. You catch my point. Your website. That's my point. But where was I going here? I don't remember now. What were we talking about?
Well, as far as that, it's so much easier to get in front of so many more people with social media and a good website that's fast and quick and has information. Where, yes, you can try to be like me and go to 15 different organizations and actually physically go everywhere. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of time. But if you're posting a lot on socials in addition to that, you get in front of so many people so quick.
Yeah, and then people will hit me up after 2 years. I'm assuming the same thing with Brayton. Haven't seen him to talk to him in so long. But hey, it seems like you're doing good. I've been following you on Facebook or whatever. That's my point. And that's what I was going to get into is it's just like it's really important to get out and network with people. And a lot of people in this industry think that mailers and emails and all that works, and that's fantastic and all. They have a time and place. I'm not trying to take away from them. But at the end of the day, if you're in a people business and a people industry, you need to get out and get involved in networking and organization. So I guess that leads 100%. Into my next topic. And there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember. But leading into that, Brayton is involved with multiple organizations that I'm involved in. and we're involved in committees and stuff like that together. And hand over fist, I could look at my sales tracking form, and I could derive a lot of networking events that I'm involved with him actually on together from organizations he's and people that he's introduced me to. We've both been involved in with, and at the end of the day, it starts with, hey, how do I get involved? So
Yeah.
let's talk about that, about
Yeah.
Brayton. Let's talk about Women's Council, Home Builders Association, and other organizations.
Yeah.
Aspire North.
Yeah. So I kind of, skipped ahead a little bit on that because I'm seventh generation from Northport, and I moved away after high school and then moved back about 7 years ago. And I really missed the community. I wanted to get involved. I was in Grand Rapids. There's huge community there, but it's very sprawled. It's very all over the place. There's a lot happening. And I miss the community here where I can go run into Tom's, grab a gallon of milk, and I run into two people I know any given day. And I miss that a lot. So when I moved back, I jumped in and got into.
Where'd you move back from again?
From Grand Rapids.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I went down to
okay.
Grand Valley, so I went down there. I was down there for almost 10 years. I bought my first house when I was a junior in college and had a job right out of college and just stayed down there. And then I moved back about 7 years ago here. And when I moved back, I jumped right in. I got involved with the Leelanau Chamber, Suttons Bay Chamber. I got involved with Aspire North, Women's Council of Realtors, the Home Builders Association. I'm a member of the Prospectors Club, which is a group in Leelanau County that gives out scholarships for kids going into college and also the trades.
Interesting.
You have to own property in Leelanau County. You have to be a registered voter in Leelanau County for a certain amount of time, and then we vote you in. It's been going on since like 1946. It's pretty amazing. So that's a cool group that I'm a part of also. And there's the Northport Dog Parade. That was a really fun one. We raised $26,000 this year for dogs in a one-day parade, which is amazing. We turned it into a 501c3 this year. So a lot of the things I'm in are business-y, but some of them, like Prospectors Club and the Dog Parade, not business at all. It's just the networking and it's the community, and I love it. And the Northport Dog Parade is right. I mean, it literally goes right by my grandparents' house that's been in my family since the late 1800s, and I love it. And it's a lot of fun.
I feel like a lot of times, and I guess I'll trip this back to Aspire more and HBA and Women's Council. A lot of times people come up to me that are affiliates of these organizations. What I mean by that is they're not a builder with HBA. They're not a realtor with Women's Council of Realtors. And they go into the organization expecting business right away when it comes to standing up in front of a room full of people and talking about your business. That's great and all. But hand over fist, I highly recommend getting to know somebody one-on-one. Pull them aside. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Take them out for coffee. Take them out to lunch. Go for a walk around the Civic Center. Literally, I just did that a couple weeks ago with the Women's Council member. And talk about them as an individual, get to know them, figure out their pain points. What are you struggling with? It'll come up in conversation more than you realize it. And then win. Get business. Don't just sit there in front of a room full of people, and I guess I could attribute this to more towards the haves and needs meeting at Women's Council, in front of a room of sometimes 50 individuals, and you get a chance to talk around this meeting called haves and needs at Women's Council. But the problem with that is I used to do this, and I'm telling you, I used to struggle with this, and I used to do that all the time. But the problem with it is nobody really cares what you have to say. I hate to say it and be that blunt, but that's who I am until you get to know them one-on-one. Now, granted, you may say something that might spark their attention, but you still should get to know them outside the organization. Take them fishing or hunting or whatever. That's what I like to do. Or I'd go coffee or whatever.
Or golfing.
Golfing, whatever.
That's where I learned that our birthdays are a day apart. We went golfing together a couple of years ago.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we went golfing together a couple of years ago. Like, we've known each other from these organizations and Women's Council and Aspire. And we went golfing, and we're talking, and we're both January, both 91, and it's like, what? We're a day apart. So it's pretty wild. So it's cool. You learn so much when you have those one-on-one conversations. And, like, we may have had that conversation in a group, but because we were golfing on a beautiful day in Interlaken, we chatted about it. And it was cool. So you learn a lot about people. And
people will trust you more once you get to know them. They do. And that's why I've captivated a good amount of business, because I get them and I pull them aside one-on-one, figure out their pain points. So if you could kind of allude into that, Brayton, what you do, but that's what I do. I'm assuming you're in the same boat as me.
Yeah. My business, Solutions by Farr, is broader than just that business. I mean, I named it Solutions by Farr because I am a natural problem solver. So whether it's a mortgage issue, whether it's
He's
insurance
syndicating
issue,
all of his
yep,
businesses and driving them together. So he's got clients that are doing he's doing mortgages with that also
uh-huh,
do solutions by
yep,
Farr and yada
yeah,
yada.
and the realtors are on the other side of the transaction, and I'm helping them all around full circle. So it's amazing, and it's really great because I can just naturally problem solve. And with my real estate license, you're right, it's in escrow. I have it, it's active, but I'm not actively selling or buying. But I have it as a tool in my toolbox to be able to help newer agents and also my clients when they have questions on the purchase agreement. I can easily answer them for them, or I say, ooh, that's a negotiating question. You're going to have to go to your agent and then maybe ask the seller and work through that. But I can kind of help them understand it a little better and then defer them to the right people. Or if it's a title question, I'm like, ooh, your agent might not know the answer. I don't necessarily know the answer, but give Talent a call. They've got an awesome team here that will answer that question and help you through it, and we'll sort it out and find the solution and get it done. So it's pretty amazing.
So the next thing I want to talk about, leading into some of your notes over there, and what you do on the mortgage side of the business, Citywide. Why
Yeah,
Citywide? I've got a couple of clients that switched from
yeah.
some pretty good financial institutions over to Citywide. Why might that be?
Yeah, I love Citywide. It's amazing. We're a really nimble company. We are a DBA of a bigger mortgage company, so we have all the products, but we have the heart and soul of a small company, which is awesome. Like I have a direct in with the CEO of the company if I need to. We have senior underwriters that we can call if we have problems with files or need to get things done. It's very nimble. We have a really good system internally where things get done. The processes are good. The underwriting's good. It's pretty amazing. And then, yeah, we have grown to a local team of 4, which is huge too.
Mm-hmm.
And my processors in Michigan, which is huge. Underwriters in Michigan, so they understand the area, which is awesome too. Because so many lending places they outsource the mortgage or they outsource the underwriting, or the underwriter might be in another state or sometimes
Mm-hmm.
even another country.
I
And
gotta. So speaking of that, jumping into that, I had a friend who went with one of the local lenders here, we're Citywide, and he did a $2 million deal
oh
out
yeah,
of Montana.
yep, yeah, where you
So I
can
mean,
lend
it's
in
not
all
just
50
Michigan.
states. Yep.
He has asked me if I knew if we did any title stuff out there. I said, unfortunately, no, we're not licensed in another state other than the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, citywide, we're licensed in all 50 states. Personally, I'm only licensed in Michigan, but I do have a team across the whole state, and a lot of my local team are licensed in multiple states. I haven't personally found the need to get licensed in other states. I'd rather just refer to somebody
on
that's
the
an
rare
expert.
off chance of that
Yeah.
file, that might be one thing. But how often do those come through?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I know that people on my team are licensed in multiple states, so I can just refer it to them. They know the state really well. Like the manager here in town, his kids are in Minnesota. He's licensed in Minnesota. He knows Minnesota really
Let's just
well.
say their names.
So,
Shout out to you, Scott Strauss,
yep,
uh, Dan Stout Jr., and
yep,
Anna Cortade.
yeah. So we've got a good crew here, and they're licensed in other states. And so I'd rather defer it or refer it to an expert that knows that state because every state is different.
Yeah.
Like some states are attorney states, so you don't even go through a title
Right.
company. You go
Right.
through attorneys, and
Right.
you're like, that's a different process. And
Right.
like, I don't
And
even know how to find an attorney.
let's talk
I'm like,
about that
yeah.
for a minute. And this is something that in Michigan, it's not an attorney state. Title companies have attorney or attorneys. And I'm not sure if any title companies in town have multiple attorneys. But the attorneys don't touch the files unless it's a very specific circumstance, such as this file I got over a year ago. It was a big one. Had property line where it hadn't been recorded since the 60s, right? They needed to get quiet title and things of that nature. So we had to jump through some additional hoops. It was a big file. It was thousands of dollars. But that's my point. There's other title companies in town that say, "Oh, we went with them because they have an attorney, this and that," and they answer questions. Well, I can highly doubt. I don't think that attorney touched that file. I really highly doubt that they did. Sometimes they do, but not very often. That's all I wanted to say about it.
Yeah.
But pouring into some digging into some things that separate us apart from other title companies. And Brayton, I'm honest and open and candid about this because I've grown my book quite a bit. I used to be a little bit more reserved and laid back until I got to know the ins and outs of the business and what sets us apart. And I grew a book. But now, what I mean is a book of clients. And I've got, I don't even know, 100 to whatever. My point is this. we don't do the same things as everybody else. Nobody else in town is doing a podcast. No one else is growing and then hiring more people. So I don't want to dive into this from my perspective too much, but what are you seeing, Brayton, that sets us apart from all the other title companies in town?
Yeah.
Now, granted, there are a lot of title companies in Traverse City. There's 18, potentially soon to be 19 title companies in town in just Traverse City, not including the surrounding area. And I think even Northwest Michigan might be like 20 something. So that's a lot of
Yeah.
business to go around. But you know, I respect several title companies in town. There's a few that I think that could change up their business strategies and maybe do what we do. But how do you feel? Anyways, enough of me. How about how I feel? How do you feel that sets us up? What do we do differently than everybody else? And a few of these other title companies in town, I'm just going to say just us, but independent title companies in town that don't have a joint venture affiliate business agreement. So if you want to dive into that and
Yeah.
what sets us apart.
Yeah, I love the team here. I love the fact that for 5 years, since I've been lending 6 years, I can call. I don't have to give an address. I don't have to give a file number. I can just give a call, and whoever answers the phone already knows the transaction that I'm calling about, has the information I need, and it's a super quick phone call. I love that. I don't call a 1-800 number. I don't call a corporate office where I'm going through 7 different phone tree prompts to get.
Oh, you're dealing with that with other? I mean,
Oh,
I wouldn't
yeah.
know. Are you
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Interesting.
Sometimes,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Or, there's 47 people in the office, but they're not really the person you need to talk to. So they're like, I don't really know who's working on your file. I don't really know what's going on. Every time I call here, or literally when I walked in this morning for the podcast, I'm 2 hours before the closing, and Rochelle knew exactly what I was talking about when I asked a question on it. She's like, yep, we're all set. We know what's going on. And, didn't have to give any backstory. I love that. And it's so good. And that's been the case the entire time. And even before you were here, it's been great. And that is so important to me because in a busy day when I have the realtors on both sides asking questions, I've got the seller and buyer sometimes asking questions, the buyer always, but sometimes the sellers will reach out to me too. And I'm like, I need a quick answer and I need to be able to just call or shoot an email and then get that answer really quick. And I always get that. And I always get a follow up. Often sometimes in title, I've had issues where, like you said, the lot line where it hadn't been recorded since the 60s, or there's something weird on title, or Jim Bob had the transaction in their name and there was a first right of refusal from 10 years ago that nobody took advantage of, and there's some weird thing on title, a cloud, and it happens. And so I'll call and ask a question on that, and I always get a call back or an email of the answer, or, okay, here's the answer, and here's what we need to do to clean that up. And I love that. And I never worry that when I get off the phone and somebody's going to get back with me, that they won't get back with me. You always text me back right away. Everybody at the team calls or emails back right away. It's great. And I don't have to worry about that. There are some parts of the industry where you leave a message, it may be days before you hear back. And I'm like, we don't have days in this industry. Typically we're in a 30-day contract and we've got to get start to finish in 30 days.
Yeah.
And so that quick callback and that quick response is huge.
Speaking of calls, here's my thing. A lot of times people reach out to me and they say, hey, how come I haven't received yada yada? Granted, we do a good job at getting back to people, but a lot of times there's a lot of players that are involved with transactions. What I mean by that is we don't drive the bus. Let's say there's a split closing, and we're waiting for whatever. We're waiting for, let's say, the loan officer from the other title company to communicate, yada yada, to get back to us. So that's my point. A lot of people think that we just are problem solvers over here, but a lot of times we're waiting on the agent.
I don't think, thinking back over 6 years, I don't think I've ever even had to leave a voicemail when I've called the office here.
You do sometimes.
No, personally, I don't think I.
But
ever
that's
No,
good to hear. That's
yeah.
good to hear. That's
I
good
think
to
I've
hear.
always got a person when I call too.
You call Thursday and Friday this week, you ain't gonna get anybody. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I had a client call the other day, wanted to close on Friday and this week, and I thought we could farm out a mobile notary, but unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
So
it's tricky, but yeah, it's really cool. And same thing. Drive the bus on the lending side. It's the client's choice who they go to with title, and we give them a disclosure form that has 15, 20 different title companies that we legally have to give them. But I always give them, some local options, but I'll also talk to their agent and say, hey, do you know where you're going? Or, often it may be a new agent or a seasoned agent, and they may have had an issue with a different title company. And I'm like, well, have you considered Talon? And I'm sure they know Alex from all the networking, and the team is amazing. And how about we go that route and give it a try? And they're like, yeah, that sounds great. And so that's also part of my process in the beginning. So when I get the contract, often my files are pre-approved anyway, so that loan documents are already taken care of beforehand, but the actual purchase agreement comes in, and then I'm like, okay, I need to know who the title company is, who the insurance agent is for the home insurance, and then we have that conversation, and that's part of my process with my processor internally is I give that information to her right away. So as soon as the client decides who they're going with, I'm like, okay, cool. Here's Talon Title. Here's their address. Here's the phone number. Here's their email. Get the title work ordered right away. Which often the agents will do pre-title, which speeds that up. But as we know, they don't always do that. So I try to get to it as soon as possible.
I highly recommend preliminary title. And my mind shifts a little bit in this market just because I get a lot of prelim doesn't mean it's going to go under contract, but I still have to have that mental thought process of guess what? It's an advantage not only to the agents but to the buyer and the seller to speed the process up because the buyer might not come for it. I mean, I've had prelims for 10 months sometimes, let's say, maybe longer, and then it goes under contract finally, and it's just a quick search rather than going back 40 years, and if there's an issue, you can get it cleared up way in advance. Granted, it is defined. It's the fiduciary responsibility of people other than us to get title cleared up. We examine title. We don't clear the title up. Okay, we are not your attorney. Okay, and I wanted to just get that out there. Speaking to leaving things up to clients, you have a choice. Okay, and when you have a choice, I think that your realtor or the loan officer, whoever, should be giving you that choice as well. And I'll be blunt about this because I've been seeing most people in town, obviously leave up the option. They'll say there's a lot of title companies, let's say, and that I've got a recommended list of whatever, but I really like this one. Whatever you guys say, that's fine. That's all. That's a completely legal fiduciary responsibility. But if you're not sharing that information of, hey, it's your option, you're in bad, rough waters.
Conversation.
And unfortunately, like I'm saying it like it is, and I've seen this recently, and I have to remind people, and I'm not trying to tick anybody off, but if I do, it is what it is. You should leave that option up to your people. They're paying for this product, and a lot of times they don't know what it is. So educate them. Reach out to me. I will help you understand all the ins and outs of title. I don't know everything, but I know people that know the answers.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was talking to a friend of mine who she was debating on which direction to go on a loan, and I've got a little bit different product. It's kind of a unique situation. A different lender in town's got a unique product, but she was talking with me, and she's been under contract for 2 weeks, and she wanted a second opinion. And I said, well, did the title company check on this scenario? And she's like, I don't even know who the title company is. The agent never had that conversation with her, and I'm like, well, hopefully he ordered it. I'm like, he's a seasoned agent, so I'm pretty sure he ordered it. But she's like, I don't even know who I'm working with. And I'm like, that is crazy. How was that conversation never talked about and you don't know? Like, that's huge.
See, this is, and I'm not naming names, but there's an issue in Grand Traverse County. There is, and a lot of it has to derive from, and there's a way, this is a decent way to conduct your business, but if you're not doing it the right way and conveying to people, like if you're captivating business by a joint venture or an affiliated business agreement, and what that is a shared investment into a title company. And that's fine and all. I don't care. I mean, we don't do that over here because when we bring more business through the door, we hire more people to be able to support the amount of business we bring through the door. Speaking of that, we're hiring. If anybody wants to be a closer, we would love to have an interview with them. You can reach out to me and send me your resume. But my point is this, is if you're a broker and you have a JV or affiliated business agreement, or if you're an individual realtor and have one, definitely just say, hey, guess what? You still need to leave it up to your clients to educate them if they don't know what title is, or tell them they have an option to choose who they want. Yep. End of story.
Yep. Yeah, and it is something, it's shoppable. I mean, most of the companies in town,
ask for a quote.
The prices are similar, but you can shop.
But I've explained this before. Yeah. It can vary differently, and I have a misconceptions about title insurance premiums video out there. It depends on, the product. For instance, Brayton Farr brings me both sides in a for sale by owner transaction. I can save those buyers 25% discount on loan policy and additional coverage on the owner's policy.
Which that's closing next week.
Exactly that. Oh, really?
Yeah.
No kidding. So there you go. My point is like, so you get 2 closings? Wow. Nice. Pretty cool. I can't remember all the deals I bring through the door. I apologize. But my point is just share the information. And when it comes to differences in premiums, and this is a big misconception in title in title insurance world, and that's why I talk to people about this. The insurance companies regulate title. Yes, the underwriters we work with, and there's a lot of them, we have 5, will submit that pricing to the state and then they will approve it. But it can vary differently depending on the transaction, and also additional to that, it depends on the transaction if there's a product where we can get a discount, which we were just talking about.
Yeah, not even just the discounts. So with my insurance background too, I've never sold title, but I've been property and casualty licensed.
So let's talk about that. What are you getting into, and then you just got back into recently?
I just wanted to talk to you though on your different coverage levels. Like you have an enhanced policy, you've got different policy types that other title companies in town aren't even talking about. Like they're just like, here's your title
appreciate
policy.
That.
Here's your title policy, and they're like, okay, I didn't even know there are other layers there.
I'm not gonna talk about this too much, but there could be a potential for all owners' policies, which insure, if you're not familiar with the owner's policy, is insures the buyers from the sellers. There's no issues from the title, so when they buy the house, they're not going to accrue to past issues. Title insurance doesn't insure forwards, it insures backwards, unless you have an enhanced policy. With that, it's usually a 10 to 15% increase in price. Actually, one of our
more coverages too, though.
And one of our underwriters, actually, Old Republic, all of their owners' policies are all enhanced now and expanded. For their company, it's called Enhanced. I apologize. But with that being said, there may be something in the future, potentially, where our local market, all owners' policies may have additional coverage, no matter what, per transaction.
Yeah. Huh. Very awesome. But yeah, going into the farmers' life insurance. So I am contracted with the local farmers' office here in Traverse and doing life insurance sales. But the other part of this whole piece that everything wraps together is I've had my life, accident, health, and property and casualty insurance licenses since 2013. So about 12 and a half years I've been licensed. I don't actively sell home and auto anymore, but the office does. So they're an amazing team at the farmer's office that does home and auto that are more than happy to help on that side. I'm focused just on the life insurance side. So again, if you have a partnership or you have a family and you're the sole breadwinner, or maybe not, maybe you're a dual income household and you need both incomes to pay the mortgage, to keep things going, to buy the groceries, that's where life insurance can come into play. And yeah, it also just wraps into everything else. Like having my insurance background, I know when I get a homeowner's insurance quote, I can look at it with a client. Or 2 weeks ago, I got on a Zoom call with a client. We compared 3 different quotes. And I'm like, here's the differences, here's the premium differences, here's the coverage differences, and went through and helped them decide on which one to choose. So it's really cool on that end, too, that I'm able to help clients with that part. And because I'm not actively selling it anymore, I'm like, it's not a kickback to me. Like, they were 3 totally independent quotes. And so it was really cool to have that conversation with that client to understand what they were going to be buying. And it's their first home purchase. So it's all new.
Deriving from, let's say you met that person at a networking event or wherever, getting them a loan for their home, then talking about, hey, guess what? What do you do for business, or what are you doing for home and auto or life and whatever? My point is this guy knows a lot when it comes to I think we've alluded to pretty much all he does. I mean, maybe not everything, but my point is like, this is a one-stop shop man over here when it comes to a lot of things.
Yeah, and if I don't do it myself...
that should be one of your new names. One-stop shop man.
One-stop Brayton.
One-stop Brayton.
If I don't do it myself, I definitely know who in town does. That's the other thing. Like, I've been calling myself a walking Rolodex lately because I know who does. Like, if I don't personally do it, I know who does. Or if somebody does have,
or you know somebody that knows somebody might know somebody. Right.
I'm like, hey, I don't know anything about fishing, but this title guy, Alex, has a rip and drag hat on and knows
Shout
fishing.
out to Rip and Drag. Carla Sheppy, Derek.
I know who to talk to about that industry. Or same with hunting. Like, I haven't hunted in probably 2 decades. But I'm like, hey, here's somebody to talk to. I have no clue. You know, they're like, oh, I'm looking for land.
If you reach out to me, I did this one time. Kind of shoot myself in the foot, but it was a good client. If you reach out to me asking him for my spots, you got to understand something. Respectfully, I share my spots and take clients out on my spots, and it's sacred. If you're a fisherman, it's sacred. Just same thing with hunting spots. It's sacred. And do not go back to my spots without my permission and do my same method. Do not do that without my permission. Talk to me.
They don't know where they're at.
It's
they were in the blind.
Yeah, it's just a respect thing. It really is, because I pour a lot of time into learning the tools and the trades and the methods and analyzing whatever to catch fish or hunt or whatever. But my point is like, go find your own spots. You can use the same methods for catching walleye at a lot of different spots.
Yeah.
And my point is like it's just a respect thing. It really is. Don't do what I don't. Just be respectful of me and my and granted these spots are public, one's private when it comes to hunting, but just be respectful. That's all.
That's one thing you don't have to worry. I'm not going to take
Yeah,
spots.
yeah,
I'm not going
yeah.
out there.
I actually got. I don't even know if it was the last time you went golfing, but the last time I went golfing was you. As I said, like it was been a long time because you're not a big golfer.
I don't golf enough.
Was that the last time you went out?
No, I've golfed since then. No, both my brothers are athletes. That's the thing. Like, I didn't get that gene. They love all the sports. Like, they play basketball, baseball, football, golf, like, whatever.
They got the guns, you got the brains.
My nephew, who's 3 years old, is, like, doing the same workout as my brother in the garage in their home gym. And,
Oh,
it's wild. Like, he's just, like going to be this little bodybuilder and, like, already super athletic. And I'm like, yeah, that didn't hit me. So I'll go with them. But, yeah, we golf in Northport almost every summer, multiple times.
But they have a little 9-hole up there.
They have an awesome golf course.
Okay.
Yeah, Northport Creek is amazing. And
Nice.
Chris McCann, who runs it, and the crew there, it's amazing. I love that course. And it's usually just a beautiful day, and you're out there. It's sometimes busy, but not super busy, so you don't really feel rushed. So for somebody like me who's not a great golfer, it's good. But it's also a challenging course. Like, you've got a couple that are, like, over a pond and, like, an elevation change and, like, one that's, like, around the corner, and you're like, yeah, there's no way I'm getting over there if I even get it down the fairway at all. So, but yeah, I'll go. It's fun. I need to go more, hopefully this coming summer.
So One Stop Brayton. What else? Is there anything else you wanted to talk about on today's show? We're basically, I know Brayton pretty well, and I'm basically just kind of winging it today. But I'm usually pretty good at that and keeping the show on track. But is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah. And say, as far as like the one-stop shop goes, if there's any questions related to mortgages, insurance, the business side, the tech side, like give me a call. I'm happy to help.
And how does one person get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can give me a call, 231-715-1260. I actually have Brayton.loans, so if you just type that in your browser, you'll go right to my mortgage page. If you go to Brayton.life, you'll go right to my insurance page. If you go to Brayton.solutions, you'll go right to Solutions by Farr. So super easy. You don't even need a long email, website. Just plug that in. That'll pull up all my information. You can find me. So super easy. And yeah, if you just have questions, I'm always available. Weekends, evenings, I actually prefer because most people work during the day.
Brayton is fantastic when it comes to that. And he doesn't have any kids currently. Yeah. So yeah.
I've got a dog. I unfortunately lost one of my dogs a couple months ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
She was 14. Yeah, she ended up having cancer, and that was unexpected. But I still have the other one, and he goes to work with me. He goes in the car with me to appointments, and like it's awesome. So yeah, it's just him and I, and yeah, I'm available. So give me a call. You can text me, email me, call me, whatever's easier for you. I usually will ask that too. I'm like, what do you prefer for communication?
Yeah.
Some people love phone calls. Some people are like, I can't talk on the phone during work, but I can text. Some people are like, email's best because then I can pull it back up later. So whatever works, I don't mind. I like them all equally. I mean, none of them are my favorite, but I can use them all. So yeah, give me a call. Let's chat.
Anybody have any questions? One Stop Brayton over here. And this is Alex Syker, the TC Title Guy podcast. Everybody check out my next episodes coming up in the future. Be sure to like and subscribe below. Have a great day.
See ya.